Hello there, and welcome to another video. Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian. What can I say? Honestly, this is starting to feel like I'm watching Season 1 all over again. Beat by beat, step by step. I didn't care for the last episode, because they introduced a alien mother trying to take care of her children, which served no real purpose to the story. At the beginning of this one, they try to introduce that as some great connection. She's finally meeting her mate. And it just didn't do anything for me, because I never cared for that alien. And is it just me? Or did Mando suddenly become a complete moron? He didn't really seem to serve any purpose. He falls for a trap very easily, and normally when he falls for a trap, like in Season 1, when he was pushed into the cell, he was able to fight his way out and defeat everyone. Here, he becomes completely useless till he's saved by other Mandalorians. Well, at least the remnants that lived on the planet. I did like how they fleshed out a bit more of the story, how they introduce how Mando is from a completely different faction than the Mandalorians who lived peacefully. It really does answer a lot of questions that many had. However, Mando is invited on a mission which he becomes useless in. He really doesn't serve a single purpose in that mission, except to add an extra body. There was no reason for him to be there. He didn't add anything extra, except for maybe 2 explosives, which didn't seem that big of a deal, when all they had to do is concentrate fire on a doorway. I mean, their targets literally bottlenecked themselves. They had all the advantage. They had the wide open space. Their enemies were bottlenecked, and they couldn't take them out. Mando didn't have a purpose in this episode. All they really wanted to do was show more Mandalorians, to flush out some of the backstory of why Mando can't take off his helmet. At least unlike the last one, this one is worth watching for the action. I'm not really sure. Honestly, I didn't care much for it. I've been hoping for a Wild West feel throughout the entire series. I would love for it to pick a lane and stick with it, and just follow that Wild West feel. Make it the wolf and cub route. But no, they always have to throw in these action-packed heists. And I do admit, I did enjoy it the first season, but that time it helped break the boredom. This time is not really doing much of anything. We went from a great start to a completely pointless filler episode to this episode here, which serves no real purpose, except kicking the mission on down the line. At least he has finally been given the name of the Jedi he needs to drop the child off with. And since they mentioned her, I will just say, I don't know why she is still alive. I firmly believe that Ahsoka Tano should have died between the Clone Wars and before Star Wars even begun. She should have been taken out of the equation, trying to take down her master and dying in the process. But if it was for me, honestly, she should have either never existed or died off in the Clone Wars. Having her around makes Luke Skywalker less of a figure, makes him less impactful as being one of the last. I did like that they introduced basically a completely water planet, almost. It was filled with the Corran. It was filled with calamari all over the place, and only 2 of those toads. It would have been nice to get more of a variation. And for fish-like creatures, they did not look as good as they did in the OT. In the OT, they looked a lot more watered down, a lot more glossy, because I would assume that they would need to stay moist to survive outside of the water, because they're from a water planet. They would like to stay close to the ocean. They normally live in the ocean. But no, they look dry. They don't look as greasy. They don't look as wet. Their carapaces are completely dry. And it just took me out, made me realize that in the OT, Admiral Akbar looked far more realistic than these guys in their plastic suits. I believe it's safe to say that this episode was actually better than the previous one, was better than 10. However, the fact that Mando served no purpose, literally had no real objective other than to be weak and be saved over and over again, or just stand in the background as all the other Mandalorians take care of business, really just annoyed me. However, the biggest issue for me, other than him being completely weak, was the fact that he fell for a trap, which was obviously a trap. It's literally the same trap that started on the first episode of this season, where he goes to meet someone who can take him to Mandalorians, and then they try to take him out for his armor. Come on, guys, you're repeating yourselves over and over again. It's getting old. Why is Mando so weak all of a sudden? Why is he not able to fight back in this episode? Why is he not able to escape? It's like he forgot about some of his weapons. That's all I really have to say. It was lackluster. It doesn't really build to anything more. They keep trying to kick the excitement on down the road. And I get the feeling that Mando's going to become weak. Mando's going to become a useless character, having to be carried by those around him. It's sad to say, but seeing this episode gave me that feeling. And The Mandalorian is the one show that tries to stay Star Wars. However, this episode veered strongly away from that. At least, that's the feeling I got, because this day and age, you get the feeling in almost everything. As soon as you see something that starts to veer towards the woke, you begin to worry, because that always takes hold and destroys anything it touches. All right, I need to end it there before I end up going off on a tangent. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Toodles!